Hello and welcome back to the channel for another Hot Toys review. Today we will be doing a flashback review on the Harley Quinn Hot Toys figure from the movie Suicide Squad. Now this has been a grail of mine for quite a long time. I've been trying to acquire her, but that price tag has been consistently going up and up and up. I wasn't the biggest fan of the movie Suicide Squad, but I thought Margot Robbie did an excellent job portraying Harley Quinn, and that was one of my favorite parts of the movie, if not my favorite part. Now this figure was released about 3 to 4 years ago, so again this is going to be a flashback review. However, with the new Snyder Cut Justice League movie, I thought it would be cool to review this figure with all the DC hype going on. You know, Marvel's had its time in the sun. Star Wars has definitely had a good run with The Mandalorian. It would be really nice if somehow the Snyder Cut would kind of right some wrongs that Justice League gave us a couple years ago. But hey, before we get going, if you're a DC fan, hit that like button below and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. So this figure is a Sideshow exclusive, and like I said, she's old, she's been out for quite some time, she's been sold out for quite some time. You can pre-order the Birds of Prey Harley Quinn. There's a couple there that you can get, and I just don't think either of them holds a candle to this figure, and this is why I held out for this figure. And I'm really excited to have this figure and talk about her with you guys today. This box just looks like a whole lot of fun. You got like a dessert slash ice cream colors for the box art. You got this great portrait of Harley Quinn on the front with a great big Harley Quinn name. On the bottom you have almost like a dessert table with a huge cupcake, and you have some batarangs, and then you also have the Joker getaway car with Batman on top of it from Suicide Squad. Just a lot of cool Easter eggs from the movie. On the back you can see that it has all the warnings and whatnot. It's almost like they made like a ice cream cone, and you have the pink kind of melting into the white and the blue, and just a really cool design here. I really like it. This is a slip cover box, but it is a little bit different because it actually has the top part to it. It just slides off from the bottom. Inside you have the art cover, which typically just lifts out, and this one just has all the folks responsible for making the figure. But this one opens up in the middle here, and just kind of both ends fold out. So that's kind of interesting too, different than I've seen before. And we get our first look at the figure inside the packaging, and my first impressions of the figure in the box is super positive. I'm really stoked to finally have this. Like I said, let's get her out. Starting with the base that comes with Harley Quinn, you can see it is somewhat of a unique base. It has her name just kind of written on the front, almost like it's in handwriting. Typically a lot of these figures will come with a metal plate or a plastic plate, but this is just kind of it's different. Again, this is a unique figure. You have Suicide Squad here that kind of sticks out on the front as well, and then we have this crosshair graphic right here. On the top they went with like a concrete that has been cracked and broken up, and this does have somewhat of a rough texture to it, probably to help the figure stand better because she is going to be in those high heels. And then we do have just a normal crotch grabber base as well. Outside of that, not much to it. Looks pretty cool. Let's get the accessories out and take a look. Here we have everything that our Harley Quinn figure comes with, and it's a pretty good amount. Just going through it quick, we have her carnival mallet, her baseball bat, some bracelets, some different kind of bracelets, her necklace, her purse, which comes with 3 extra pairs of hands, a piece of rubble, her revolver with some bullets, and her coat. Let's take a look at each one of these individually and up close. Starting with the hands, we're going to look at a gloved hand first. And it's a really cool metallic red with that blue stripe on it. And you can see she even has the fingernail paint, and it says evil if you look really close on her fingernails. So that's pretty cool. A really good texture on the glove itself. And her non-gloved hand, her nails are painted red and blue, and she does have a ring on her pointer finger. Really nice paint application. And here we have her like a chrome purse. This does not open up. This chain is real metal. This is what makes her an exclusive, is that she comes with this piece of rubble. Really doesn't seem like much, and it's kind of like, what's the point? But we're going to have a good use for this piece of rubble later on in the video, so stay tuned to that. One of her bracelets, her other bracelets, one says yes, the other says sir. I don't believe I'll be putting either one of these on, just because I've heard that they can be a bit tight. Her necklace that says puddin'. Really cool detail to this. Kind of got that gold heart lock on the back. Still debating if I'm going to put this on or not. She comes with two of these, almost looks like clips. I'm not exactly sure what they're for, but if you guys know, let me know in the comments. And then she comes with this revolver, which looks really good. Kind of got the white handle with this embossed logo on it. I think it's a Joker head. It says love and hate here, and then the revolver part does come out. That's pretty cool. And then just really good detail on the barrel itself. And the other side is the exact same. There's not really any wear on it, but I don't really remember any major wear on the movie itself either, so pretty cool piece. And she comes with this coat that says property of Joker, and it still has the cardboard on it. Pretty cool, like little chain here with J. Got the pockets, really nice stitching on it. Sure, we'll use this for a couple poses. Then we have her bat, which says good night. You can see there's wood grain here, but it's really just kind of like drawn on. There's no, I don't know, there's no shadowing or anything like that, so the wood looks really fake. Makes this just look not really real at all, like more like a toy. Same with the bottom here. You can see there. Some decent wear on the handle here. The tape looks nice. The print itself is really cool. You got all this fine print here on the bat. It just would have been nice if they had more of a deeper grain, maybe more shading going into it as well. Would have really made this bat look a lot better. And then we have her carnival mallet here. Got a blue handle. Got some design here, some writing on the ends. Again, kind of skimped on the detail with this. From a distance it looks pretty real, but when you get up close it just looks fake. But I think it'll still look good. Not too worried about it. But think there could have been some improvement there. Alright guys, so that's everything she comes with. Now let's get the figure out here and take a closer look. Alright, here we have our first look at the figure out of the box. And I am amazed. This is uncanny to Margot Robbie, in my opinion. I think the facial expression even helps that likeness even more. And I think this just looks awesome. Love that they went with sculpted hair. And the ponytails are actually articulated. So that's really cool too. You do have to be careful with those, that you don't break the pegs or anything. I know some people were kind of bothered maybe by the facial expression. They would have wanted an extra head sculpt. I can see that, you know, maybe another head sculpt with her more of doing like a smirk, but man, you can do a lot with this, and I don't think you're gonna get sick of it. It was totally her personality in the movie, and I think it's gonna play well to that. You got these extra strands of hair here. They're just kind of a plastic mold here as well. Great detail in the mouth, in the eyes, and just the paint running down her face as well. Super cool. You know, the skin tone is going to be more of like a lighter white, because she did have kind of like that, I don't know if she had makeup on or if she was just that pale, but I think it's just really awesome. Here, go to a profile here and go to the other side. And then even in the shirt, it says Daddy's Little Monster. You have stitching going all over here. There's just, it's tattered. You have tattoos underneath. Really great detail. Holes in the shirt. She is wearing a bra underneath. And then you have her gun holster here, which is, it kind of looks like pleather, but it's got this real, there's this real shininess to it. And then you even have a tattoo on the side of her face here. And then the heart under the eye. Earrings even in the ear. Look at the detail there, just amazing. I love this head sculpt, and this is one of the big reasons that I wanted to get this figure. Coming down to the midsection of the figure, you can see more of that detail in the shirt that we were talking about. We do have a midriff showing here. You can see the belly button. She has this belt, and then even more tattoos underneath here. I like the t-shirt, how it comes down just past her elbows because it hides the joint here, so you don't really have to worry about that. It almost looks like, even with the glove, you just see this one joint right here. So they did a really good job at hiding all the joints as well. And coming around here, you got another tattoo. It says "I'm watching," and I believe it even goes underneath the panties a little bit. It's just a really cool figure. You can see the gun holster right here, which you can put the revolver in. Some people have taken off her shirt, but I believe that when you do, you may lose some of this tightness to her stomach. May stretch out, so just be careful of that. I'm going to leave her with the shirt on. And then you even have a nice detailed tattoo right here on her forearm. You can see her caboose. Sounds weird, but they did do a good job on it. Very proportionate. She looks great. Let's go down to the lower section of the figure. Before we get to the feet of the figure, I did want to make a quick stop here at the pantyhose part. And you can see here, even on the legs, we have tattoos on the legs. These legs are super thick and hard. They don't feel like a normal 6 scale figure. And these pantyhose, you know, they do have a little bit of give. And you do have to be careful that you don't, rip them over time. But if you can see, it's more than just the mesh. It's an actual, it covers the whole leg. You can see through it somewhat, but it is one solid piece. And coming down to the lower part of the figure, we do have the knees here, which they did their best to hide, but there's not going to be a whole lot of articulation in these knees because you do run the risk of ruining these pantyhose. So you're maybe going to be able to kick her leg back just a little bit, but for the most part, she's going to be standing straight up. So I wish they would have went with a unibody leg for this and just hidden that kneecap, because you can just see it right there. I think it would have really put the figure over the top. Not that it isn't already, but with the job they did at hiding most of the joints, if they just hid those knees a little bit too, I think this really would have been even better than it is. Coming down to the feet, you have these interesting high heels here. They're almost like a cross between I feel like hockey skates or some sort of sneaker and a heel. Just a really small heel there on the back. Not going to have the split cut boot design. It's going to be a bit challenging to pose her. I am still going to try to do this without the stand, but for showing her off, I did want to have her on the stand so that I didn't risk her just kind of falling off or falling down. There's not a whole lot of character in the boots or in the heels. They're not very worn. They kind of just look painted on, so they're not the best. I mean, from a distance, yes, they definitely do look really good, but at close up, they kind of look, I don't know, kind of cheap. Could have been a little bit better with the paint application there. And before I forget, one final note about those pantyhose. They do go all the way up into the leg right by the peg, so you don't have to worry about them falling out or anything like that. They're kind of wrapped around the leg. Alright, now let's quickly take a look at the articulation of the figure. We did tell you that the ponytails were articulated, and they do have a good amount of movement. Same with the head. She can look up a bit and down a bit, about 90 degrees. It's going to have a single bend in the elbow, and then the normal wrist rotation here. A little bit of crunch in the abdomen area, or kind of just below the chest. And as you can see, there's those pantyhose. They do go all the way up into where the peg is. So she is able to kind of do the splits a bit. I would not push her knee much past here. She has about 90 there. There's some rotation in the lower leg, but again, you just got to watch that pantyhose there. You don't want to go too far. She does have a little bit actually here in the boot. So now while we get this figure into some cool poses and show her off to you, let's go over some of the things that we really like about the figure and some things not so much. Starting with the things that I like about the figure, let's start off with the head sculpt. The likeness to Margot Robbie is spot on. Plain and simple, this is a work of art. I love this head sculpt and all the detail that went into it, and it works. I also like the outfit and just the overall appearance of the figure. The clothes are unique, the colors stand out, there's details in rips and stitches, and then the tattoos on the figure. It just makes this figure pop in your collection. And lastly, I love the fact that they made the sculpted hair as opposed to the rooted hair, and they even went through the trouble to make the ponytails articulated, which allows for better posing and articulation of the head. You don't have to worry about some of these female figures have that sculpted hair and it really hinders the head rotation. Here you don't have to worry about that. Now going on to some dislikes or some things that could have been improved on. It would have made the figure even better if they had used some sort of unibody style leg to hide those ugly exposed kneecaps. This doesn't ruin the figure for me, but it just would have made the figure that much more better. The second thing that I'm not so fond about is the detail that went into some of the accessories like the bat, the baseball bat, and the carnival mallet. They're not very detailed, they look just kind of drawn, not quite what we're used to seeing from Hot Toys, and it just takes away from the realism on some of those features. Also, the thing that makes this an exclusive is just getting a little block of rubble. To me, it's kind of silly. It just doesn't make sense. We did find a great way to use that piece of rubble by having Harley Quinn pose with the baseball bat, and that piece of rubble just helps that bat raise up a little bit taller to get to her hand. So it does work. You know, there is a great way to use it, but it just seems silly that that's what made it an exclusive. And lastly, this isn't really my issue with the figure, but I have heard this in forums and through other collectors that they really would have liked another head sculpt to come with this figure, something with more of a relaxed expression. No need for that for me, as I really like the expression she has, but again, there are some collectors out there that would have liked this to come with a second head sculpt. Overall, I think the outfit is so much fun and screams vintage Harley Quinn. Your eye is going to be attracted to this figure in any collection, and I think this is an A+ work of art. Get it if you can, while you can. Let me know what you guys think about the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and until next time, we'll see you soon.